Hi everybody, it's Brandon.
And Josh.
And before we start today's episode, we just want to give a little plug. Give us a like.
Or subscribe to this channel.
And follow us on Instagram for all of your daily drama and art needs.
Woohoo! Check back every week for more content from yours truly.
And hope you enjoy the episode.
Ciao.
Until we get another theme song, this'll have to do. These are your rules reviews.
Hey guys.
Hey everybody, it's your boys Brandon
And Josh. Welcome back.
Well, we're here. We've got another episode of We are cruising along. We are on episode 3 already of the season 11 girls.
Uno, dos, tres. Yes, and what a season it's shaping up to be, isn't it?
It's going good. The girls are bringing blood fire this season. Everyone's so polished and so funny.
Yeah, and I must give your look a toot today, Brandon. You're looking like Akira as a boy in the confessionals a bit.
You know, well, hold on. Let me flip it back if I'm going to do the full Akira. Yes,
there we go.
Full back.
Perfect.
This is actually a tribute to Macho Man Randy Savage.
Excellent.
The late, great Macho Man, world wrestler, world heavyweight champion, but he always wore bright sunglasses and a fringed cowboy hat. So this is a little homage to Miss Honey Davenport. But we'll talk about her in this episode.
All right.
And you giving us all the church lady I need.
Church lady, let's go to church. Hallelujah.
In her Sunday bonnet. Hallelujah. Yes. So we'll get into all the things, and this is a lot of the episode.
Yes. Let's jump right in. Let's talk about the pre-show this week. Before we got started, we had Ariel coming on, who I'm starting to love even more, looking fabulous, and her makeup is always on point. But I loved how she gave credit to Evie and Scarlett from the previous week when they were discrediting them, and so not winning the acting challenge was sort of hit her ego. But she gave credit to those that did, so that was kind of great.
But then the shady editors had to cut to Silky talk about, well, she's an Instagram whore.
Right.
She don't know what to do with real entertainers. And I was like, well, Silky, I mean, that's my girl, but don't discredit anybody. Let everybody have a moment to shine.
She went in on that Instagram thing.
She did. And
she's just jealous she doesn't have as many followers.
Oh, she will now.
She
will now. We stand. Silky. Ooh, I love the way this bounces.
It bounces around. What do you think about RuPaul's suit this week? You seem to always like the suit that RuPaul wears in.
So yeah, we come in. Ru comes in the workroom as he always does every episode. And this week, oh my gosh! So this suit this week was giving me all of the Cher and Dion and Clueless, tartan, plaid, rich bitch, Heather's fish. I loved it. I
wasn't sure what to think about it because you're always like, oh, dark brown and black is such a fashion faux pas, and he's wearing this like yellow and brown plaid suit with a black undershirt. And so I'm like, all right, he sets the trend sometimes. So
well, when I went back and looked closer, like it had red in it and had some brown, very fine brown pinstripes. So
nice.
Yeah, tied it all in. Ru comes in and says that we're gonna have a mini challenge, and I love mini challenges because we don't get them in all.
Mini challenge, 15 minutes.
Right.
Quick drag. That's my favorite part because half of them always look a mess. It's like, how much can you do in 15 minutes?
it's a chance to see the girls looking a little messy because when you hit that main stage, you want to be right.
Yeah.
But in quick drag, yeah, we can be a little messy. So the challenge is you have to sweet talk your way past the club door to get into Michelle Visage's seduction backstage in the 90s. And completely silly, completely whatever. Let's all remind people Michelle Visage used to be a musician.
Oh, yeah. By the way, if you didn't know, Seduction was Michelle Visage's girl group. I'm sure most of you probably didn't know that.
Michelle, is that Valentina? Michelle is such a coquina.
Michelle, can I get backstage?
So the girls were challenged to get in. Yeah, they did all right. Who were your standouts in this?
I love the campy shtick. So I loved Evie coming, being pregnant, picking her nose. I thought that was like,
That's like the third time.
Baby.
That's like the third time Evie's done a pregnant look. It's really.
Evie trying to get pregnant, girl.
I mean,
she keeps trying, but it never happens. I wonder why. And then I love Nina West's look. I thought that was fierce. That was so funny. She had these huge, like, I don't even know what they were. Remember the bucktooth bob things you could get from, like, Spencer Gifts a long time ago? They were like super duper like Bucktooth Billy or whatever they were.
Yeah, she was playing up this like nerdy fangirl, like, oh my god, Michelle, I love the accent she was doing. I thought that was so cute.
It was hilarious. She was good. Brooklyn came as a Canada Moose Knuckle. That was kind of cute. I liked her persona she was given there. Her accent was spot on.
But I will say Brooklyn's her quick drags they always look the same. They always give you Katya. and you know, people clocked it online. She looked like Katya. RuPaul called her Suzanne Summers, but she always gives that like straight blonde look. But one of my standouts, of course, is my girl, Miss Silky Nutmeg.
This bitch about broke the set. Her fat ass about broke the whole set down.
She broke all the fourth wall.
She hit the set so hard it damn unlocked the door and opened the door for her.
She sure did. Yeah, so Silky, she said she shook her titties and they said that ain't gonna get you nowhere. And Silky said, well, I'm coming in today.
I'm gonna knock back of that damn door down.
Right. She got hooked, down, set, up. She took the whole set out.
Hysterical.
I thought she was gonna win.
Right? She knocked that shit so hard it even opened for her. I'm like, oh, she got instant access.
She got in the club.
So that was the name of the game.
But that was fun. So the winners of this mini challenge are Miss Nina West
and Raja.
All right, Raja's stepping up. I see her now.
She was doing this begging, twerking thing. I didn't think she was a winner. She wasn't a standout, but it was,
she had her good fun. Her good fun. Yeah.
Right.
So, once again, in the history of RuPaul, it's another acting challenge. You know, they're fun. They're easy to do. Write a quick script. Let the girls improv play on it. But I feel like that's not everyone's strong suit. So it's not really fair to do all these acting challenges.
Right.
But
it's more fun for the drama of seeing people get bitchy and choose other people who they think will not do well on a certain role.
Yeah.
Or will do well on it.
The teams are Nina has Silky, Evie, Vanjie, Brooklyn, Ariel, Mercedes on her team.
Yes.
While Miss Raja has Sugar, Plastique, Honey, and Akira on her team.
And Scarlett.
Oh, and Scarlett, don't forget Scarlett. Miss Scarlett is feeling her. Oh, she said, I won that acting challenge, so I'm ready for this. Can't forget Miss Scarlett. Okay, so the challenge this week is what?
The challenge this week is sort of like a televangelist. Hallelujah!
Jesus is a biscuit. I mean, they was always bringing people, they should have brought Latrice back to take us to church.
My God, that would have been, she could definitely do it. You know, Latrice grew up in black church.
Latrice, though, well, she might be over it. She was like, fuck, All-Stars 4, fuck it. You know what? I'm done. Y'all didn't use me too much. Yeah. I'm done. I gotta be with my husband.
So they do this live take, right? One shot, kind of wham bam, thank you ma'am.
But we didn't even say that, yeah, it was televangelist, but the religion was a diva.
Was a diva.
Diva version.
Your pop
diva. And so we got to talk about a little bit about the deciding, because that was really, everything was set up to be shady this episode. Absolutely everything. So the girls got to pick their own diva in their team. Yeah. And so Nina's team seems pretty on board. Everyone's like, okay, who are our tops? Brittany, Whitney, here's who we know. Yeah. And they're like, well, Whitney can go dark, you know, let's go Brittany. Brittany's a lot more fun to
Brittany does have a lot of things that she can target. She's wearing a bullseye on her back, so.
And Brittany seems to be in a good spot right now.
Yes.
You know, she's got a residency in Vegas, she's doing better, so it's a little more acceptable to make fun
Whitney,
of her.
don't say nothing bad about Whitney, because someone will cut you.
Yeah, let's just.
So that was a good move on
Whitney up there. Yeah.
But the other team was not as easy to decide. They were brainstorming for quite a while, and ultimately they came up with Mariah,
the elusive Chanteuse herself, which apparently all the facts about her were elusive to them.
How you gonna choose a pop diva that ain't nobody on the team know nothing about?
I mean, what I'm saying is, how you gonna be a drag queen and don't know that much about Mariah Carey?
Well,
I mean, have you not? I'm sure all of those girls have lip synced to one of her numbers at some point, at some time. Come on.
Yeah.
It's Mimi. It's Mimi, y'all. Mimi. So
there is a lot of great drag songs from Mariah.
Yes. The only one they remember was So Emotional. I'm like, that's cute. You know, that's great. I mean, my favorite Mariah song is Vanishing, and no one remembers that because it's on the first album. But there's so much to do.
My favorite album. Yeah, but RuPaul comes in and says, okay, who'd you choose? Mm-hmm. All right, anybody in the Mariah fan club? Nope. What is the Mariah fan club called?
Mariah calls her fans her... Anybody? Her butterfly? No. The Carries? No, okay. They're her lambs.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you bitches ain't done no homework.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Butterflies?
Carries? Carries? And then Ru goes, wait a second.
Exes. Just a little shout out to my baby Nick Cannon.
I'm glad you shouted out because Mariah's not. She forgot he even ever existed.
That's all right.
She
Send
don't
him
talk
my
about
way.
him.
Come on, I'll take you. I got room.
So Ru is literally looking at these girls like, what are y'all doing?
Yeah, why would you choose this?
Y'all don't know nothing.
There go them crickets again. What the fuck have you been doing all this time?
See, and they actually went back for about 30 seconds and was like, should we choose a different one? And nah, screw it. Let's just stay with it.
What would you have done?
I would have definitely chose a different one.
Yes.
Knowing that if I didn't know anything about him, which was clearly the case for almost everybody, then I would have been like, okay, who do I know about? I would have looked out for my best interest and been like, okay, I can play this up, so let's do that.
You push who you know, so you're not the one.
So you look good.
So you look good. Who would you have picked?
Maybe like Patti LaBelle, someone that I could, especially on like a church challenge, a televangelist. Oh my God, I would have definitely picked a Black Soul Sister.
But do you actually know about them?
Oh girl, I can sling pies all day long.
Okay, don't tell Jasmine Masters because she would get. I mean, Jasmine Masters appreciate you picking her girl, but Josh would be like, sis, you need to know more than that.
Well, just as I thought, trash.
That's actually a tough question. Who would I have picked? See, that's given the girls a little bit of path, it really depends on your musical taste.
Yeah.
I thought it would have been cool if one group was like, hey, shout out to Thorgy from All Stars 3. We're gonna do Stevie Nicks and we're gonna convert you to the White Witch.
Yeah.
You know, take it in a different direction.
Like a little voodoo kind of White Witch, right? Yeah.
Well, Stevie Nicks has that rumor about her being a witch. You know, she's played up American Horror Story Coven. Hat is also a shout out to them. But yeah, so I would have wanted to take it in a different direction because I knew the other girls were going to take it church, God praising church. But let's take it to the dark church and go that way. Something better than what they did.
Excuse me.
Bless you. In the name of Brittany.
In the name.
Oops. He sneezed again.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. So it's very clearly set up.
So there was one team that clearly stood out about it, and if you saw this, which I hope you did, it was certainly the Britneys. Even the music was hysterical.
Yeah, what was your favorite part of the Britney team?
It's Britney, bitch, network. I don't know, I liked, Brooklyn had this like crazy red wig, so she was looking like
Tammy Faye and them.
Nina was a good Ohio girl. Right, given some Appalachian, given some Southern, and she is the host of the show. Tammy Faye Baker, move on aside. She is the new generation.
Yeah,
it's hysterical.
Tammy Faye came down, was like Nina.
Well, you knew that Nina had grown up on them televangelist TV commercials or whatever they are with Tammy Faye and Jim Baker asking to send donations. She's about the age when that was like when she would have been a little kid watching cartoons. And
so your age?
She's a little older.
Just throwing that out.
We are in the air today.
Hold on. Let me pull this down because I think it's gonna get shaky.
And cheers. What are we drinking today? Peach tea whiskey.
Since we're doing a good Southern inspired, we are doing a peach whiskey moonshine. Peach tea.
You know this is rough when it comes in like a paint thinner can. Ooh.
I thought it would remind you of home.
Hallelujah.
I sat in your dad's garage and drank some of that.
Like moonshine.
My standout on the Britney team was Miss Banji.
Oh my god.
Miss Banji was responsible for doing the live conversion, and she went for it. She went in. She said, "In the name of Britney, I don't get the oops, I did it again." And
She was flipping that hair.
whipping that hair. I can't whip it too much, or my hat gonna come off. But, she went, and the funniest thing is, she was like,
You can get her music available on iTunes and everything else. Thank you, Miss Fancy. I thank myself.
That was hysterical. Even Nina's the host couldn't even stay in character. She's over there cracking up at Vanjie.
"Yeah." Between Nina and Vanjie, this team was a lot.
At least we know Vanjie got her name on her own lips. That's good.
Right. So yeah, Britney was really good, but then we had
epic failure. Poor babies. They did.
Mariah. So okay, let's see if we can make some sense out of this team.
Even they were called When You Believe.
Okay.
WYB network. Okay.
Shout out to the Mariah Whitney duet from Prince of Egypt. Yeah, that works.
Exactly.
I like that.
Let's see. Scarlett was the host, and was there a co-host?
Yeah, Sugar.
Oh, Sugar, honey. That is not a southern. That is not a televangelist look. She had this aqua-netted, hair-sprayed, cheap wig that looked like she got at the dollar store, and she was a prostitute all night. And it was 6 a.m. That thing was pulled and jerked every which way.
And you know why Sugar was actually the most on point? Because that's Jan Crouch all day long. That was her. That was the look she was giving.
Point taken. Yes,
okay.
Like I said, a prostitute that's been working since 6 a.m. All right.
I mean,
I'm glad it checks out.
Do you know what I would have done? If y'all haven't seen it, go out and look for it. I would have showed up as Miss Velma.
Yeah. That was Christmas special.
If you have not seen Miss Velma's most magical, wonderful Christmas special, smoke a blunt and get into it.
Nobody's seen Miss Velma's Christmas special.
But Miss Velma believed in her Lord.
She sure did.
She sure did. That's what I would have went. But anyway, this team...
Ross couldn't even help this team.
No. And that's the thing. Usually I'm not here for Ross, but Ross on set, I'm not here for Ross behind the judges table, but Ross like on set, he knows this. He's done live TV.
He knows live TV.
Yeah, so he knows what's funny, and he's usually giving good advice. You know.
Yeah. He couldn't even help them. His best advice was when they were walking off set and said, my best advice to you is you better bring the runway look.
My parting bit of advice to you. Bring it on the runway. Thank you.
Like, oh shit.
Snap.
That's a burn right there.
Yeah, on this team, everything was bad. The conversion, Akira was supposed to be an Ariana stan
Grande.
That's going to Mariah. And I like the idea of that, because that is something that's kind of played up, that Mariah doesn't know Ariana, even though Ariana's like killing all her whistle tones and like, this is how you still do it.
Yeah.
So that would have been a fun thing to play up, but like they said, they didn't go far enough.
Yeah.
She didn't have an Ariana look. She just had the one earrings, and it wasn't enough.
Didn't have the ponytail that they were hoping for.
Yeah, and then, and the singing. I mean, you're always critiquing. Anytime anyone sings, you're always going to
that was rough. Raja and Honey.
Honey and Raja. What'd you think about their song?
Well, I thought if they were going to suck at it, they should like play and make it funny. And they should have not tried, when they knew they could not harmonize, they should not be trying to sing at the same time. They should have had one person singing and one person doing the gospelizing. I sing, amen, hallelujah.
Go, team is our hero. Oh, mother, Shantae, you say, go, glitter on the mountain. Make it happen one sweet day.
You know, whatever. Do something that's not like trying, because then when you try and you fail, then it's everybody that can sing, that can't sing, that's just common Joe Schmo knows it's a failure.
Yeah, my question is, do they, I mean, obviously they have to get it together, they write the lyrics, they think about it. I wonder, do they ever get time to work with the sound people or get their organ track together? Because it sounded like Raja and Honey had no idea what the song was.
Oh, they have time. They had a track. I mean, someone created something for them to practice with.
I hope so. Well, they were singing different words.
Oh yeah,
But if you listen to My Dad Wrote a Porno, that's what a harmony is. So, I mean, maybe they were giving that kind of harmony.
There you go. Well, so it was a clear winner that it
was a mess.
Team Britney. It's Britney Bitch Network.
So, the only thing after all that, the only thing to get to is we get to the runway where...
Well, we get to the workroom, and then let's have a moment for Mercedes and her, and the question about, what do you mean you've never been to church? You don't know church.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm Muslim. And they're like, okay. And Silky's trying to get... It's so funny. It's all these like questions, and they're trying to be PC, and Silky's like... trying to explain to her, well, don't you go to mosque? Like, where do you go when you worship Allah?
do you know what I think this was? I think this was the producers, again, trying to spark the conversation so they could have a scene where, we had this church-inspired episode, but let's shout out to Mercedes, who's Muslim, and, like, we need representations. Maybe we can educate people on the faith a little bit. But Mercedes was not happy.
She was not even in the confessionals later, which they film, much later after the season, and take these girls back to that moment in time. They're going, talk about it. She's like, can we change the subject, talk about something else?
Just anything else.
So it's clearly not something that she's
comfortable with,
or like, so.
But... yeah, I mean, the girls were respectful, so at least.
But in fact, she didn't even claim, I sucked in this because I never went to church.
Yeah.
She never even brought it up.
She didn't make an
Someone
excuse.
else brought it up. Whereas Plastique later is like, well, I sucked in this because I don't know Mariah, I don't know pop culture.
Yeah.
I'm like, girl.
Yeah, okay, I know we're all over the place, but hey, who cares? This was all over the place episode because Plastique, they clocked her. The Plastique was like, I just moved here 4 years ago. I just know Mariah Carey's been in the game since 1990, 89, honey.
Right.
So there is no excuse for you not to know her. Mariah Carey's toured the world. She's been to Vietnam.
Right.
I
want to know how Plastique has very, very tiny little accent, almost no accent at all, and speaks English perfectly if she's only been here for 4 years. I call bullshit, but that's just me.
Yeah, but even the more she explained it, the less that story sad. I was like, girl, you're House of Edwards. You've been here for a while.
You've been here for a minute.
You have to talk about this. There's a romance blossoming in the workroom.
Oh, maybe, or just editors getting bored.
No, I mean Miss Vanjie and Brooklyn Heights.
Ooh. Hi, Poppy.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
What's going on? I've been noticing Brooke and Vanjie with this little cutter buddy type stuff, girl.
Miss Vanjie is coming for my Bang, Marry, Kill.
Bang, Marry, Kill, watch out.
She's coming for my Brooklyn Heights. They came in and they gave a little hug and they were rubbing up on each other and there was a little kiss on the lips. Usually there's a on the cheek, but this was on the lips, so.
Yeah, it's alright. Maybe something will come out of it because neither one of them gonna win the trophy, so they might as well get a romance. Oh,
I mean, I guess we know
verbal diarrhea.
I guess we know what's in your Manila or who's not on your
not on my Manila.
On your Manila.
But let us have one more moment for this thing. Evie creating her pink purple squid look, getting completely naked in the workroom, and that clearly shook some of the girls. They're like, "Woo, Evie's naked. There's penis."
Dick was out.
Yeah, they didn't know what to think. So
I was getting confused. I thought Evie was going to give me some Pink Panther. I didn't know what it was going to be, but
I'm not even entirely sure why. After seeing the look, why she was painting her penis and anus and everything. I guess maybe she just liked to be pink from head to toe.
She's a committed queen.
There you go.
This week, Ru comes down the runway in this stunning, elegant, emerald green crystal gown.
Yes.
It was giving very cosmopolitan.
Yes.
Yeah. What'd you think about her look?
It was very cute. It was very nice, and I like Ru's looks even more as a boy when she comes in the beginning.
Well, because you would actually wear those.
Because I would wear those, yeah. You won't see me in a dress. And we had special guest judges, right? We had the sort of gay Australian Ellen DeGeneres creature.
Troye Sivan?
Yeah.
So we are boys of a certain age now, and his music skews a little younger, so I don't know him. but I'm not one of his lambs.
And we had Huck from Scandal.
Guillermo Diaz. If we're good. I mean, Huck, yeah. Huck, I mean, he's been around. We've seen him at Halloweeny, which is the...
He's making a splash in the gay scene. In Los Angeles.
He's Alan Proud, and
he's out in a boot, as Brooklyn's Moose Knuck would say. All right, so starting on the runway, we have... category.
The category is fringe. Or do they call it something fun? I would have called it fringe with benefits or something.
Fringe with benefits, I like that.
Yeah, something.
I love fringe.
How very Joanne Lady Gaga.
Right.
First up on the runway was...
Miss Honey Davenport.
Miss Honey Davenport.
She comes in with a good fringe, all black, right? Hanging. She sort of gave me a funeral vibe. If you were a drag queen showing up at your redneck father's funeral, maybe you'd wear that.
Grace Jones at an S&M bondage funeral.
Ooh.
Well, yeah.
Wait, is it an S&M bondage funeral, or are you bringing the S&M bondage into the funeral? Because that's even more entertaining.
A little both. Why not? Why not? The congregation and the deceased all in bondage. Why not?
Right.
She did say...
Amen.
She did say that the dress was inspired by the killings and Black Lives Matter. You know, she wanted to bring awareness to that. So I really appreciated that. And she had fringe on her hat too.
Yeah, that was a nice way to tie in political sort of current events and affairs.
She made a statement.
Yep.
True.
Next up, Scarlett.
Scarlett, who was giving basically the opposite.
Yes, it was a complete black look and then a complete white look, a la Vegas showgirl dancer, even complete with the white wig.
Like a Marilyn Monroe and Gentlemen Prefer Blondes sort of style. Yeah, very, very good, very effective.
Yeah,
True.
and a lot of fringe. It was a toot.
Then we had
Miss Sugar K.
Miss Sugar K. Now, Miss Sugar was giving her heritage.
Yes.
Miss Sugar was giving us Native American realness.
Yes.
And I said, take that, Alexis Michelle.
Right.
Okay.
And
That's
she had
how
a
you do
reveal built in. She came with a poncho-looking thing that was sequined and designed, and I was like, that's an interesting look. And when the reveal came, it was like, she even had the turquoise around the neck.
Yes.
Tribute to
Native
American culture in Pueblo.
Sugar, that was a shoot for me.
That was beautiful.
Sugar.
Yeah, you look good. Next up was
Plastique Tiara. And she was giving, it was kind of a dancer bodysuit, but it was like a light white crystal with a long, the Ariana
pony finally made an appearance.
The pony Akira should have had from like the Sweetener album.
It was silver, sparkly.
Very House of Edwards, very I'm gonna dance.
Yes, yeah, you can tell she can move in it.
Yeah.
And she looked great.
She looked great.
Nobody looked bad so far. Alright.
Next up was Miss Akira C. Davenport.
Ooh,
And
coming out with a chandelier of a headpiece. Girl, that thing was pretty cool. It was a bit heavy.
The Ming Dynasty was in full effect. She was going to save all of China.
Right.
Okay.
I was afraid if she bent her neck too far, the whole thing would take her over. Like a leaning tower.
Have you ever worn one of those headpieces or anything like that?
No, but they look
either.
amazing.
I don't know how the girls do it.
I don't know if they're heavy or if they're made out of something lightweight, but it was impressive nonetheless.
Kyria, she did that. Next on the runway was Raja Davenport O'Hara.
Raja was doing this sort of red, kinky boot.
Red for filth. Kinky boots.
Beautiful. The boots came clear up past her knee, which was...
Let's plug. We have an episode on kinky boots. Go check it out.
Please subscribe.
But yeah, Raja.
I wasn't crazy about her look. It looked a little bit showgirl-esque also, but it looked like something that I would love at the club.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't matching the same amount of class and, extra that the other girls had.
I have something to say about this. I didn't appreciate that comment from Michelle because I feel like that there are girls that do come up in these southern places and these areas where those are show-stopping looks at the club. Like what
was Michelle's comment?
Her comment was, yeah, it's a little basic. I'm not going to be happy when compared to all the other girls and what they brought, you know, it's nice, but it's basic. And to me, like, that's a hard thing, because when you get 2 weeks, they call you and they're like, here's a list of your runways. You got to be in LA in 2 weeks. And when you're getting stuff together, you don't have time to think about the other girls. You got to bring something very good for yourself.
All context. It's not like one person gets 2 weeks, they all get 2 weeks. So if you're showing up on a runway and people are in this elevated look with huge headpieces and things like that,
I will say she was basic to the girls that had those, but she was not basic to Scarlett, to me. She was not basic compared to Plastique, who was also just the bodysuit. Yeah. And Plastique's not going to get that. She didn't get that comment. She got, oh, you're stunning. Raja looked amazing. Yeah. She gave me, the wig was blended. And if you go see the picture, they all take pictures, like formal pictures, of their looks for Instagram later. Yeah. And so when you see her in that picture, that outfit is immaculate.
All right.
Like, so
Brandon gives a toot. I give a boot. I'm with Michelle.
Okay.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Speaking of headpieces, Nina West had sort of this fringy mushroom looking thing bouncing down the runway. It reminded me of, like, what was those old, like, sisters from the 60s that would do, like, the synchronized swimming kind of routine?
Esther Williams in them?
That's what I'm thinking of, sort of that. It wasn't like...
Oh, yeah?
Yes. It was very... it was cute. It was different. It was different from all the other girls.
Her fringe was my favorite, because it had the most sparkle, and it had the most movement to it. Yeah. And Nina has this thing. Nina reminds me of someone from the Mid-Ohio Valley who's suddenly walking the runway in Milan, because she's trying, she's giving it, she's
oh my god,
she don't know what to do with her body, but in this challenge it made sense, because that fringe got to move all over the place. And
I love when Nina's out of drag and in the workroom working, and you're like, you think that she's gonna change your oil in your car or something. I'm like,
that's a man, Murray.
That's a man.
That's a man.
Love her too.
But shout out to Nina. She looked great. Next up after Nina was
Brooklyn Heights.
Who's left me for Vanjie, but that's okay. Brooklyn was giving, she calls it Woodstock meets Coachella. Yeah. And I could see that. I thought it was very Kesha.
And I call it Cher's hippie days. When she came out, her makeup and her face looked like it was like a Chad Michaels / Cher. I was like, oh. And then she got closer, further down the runway. Then I was like, maybe not so much. Yeah. But the first thought I had was like, oh my god, Cher is a hippie.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was good. It was still good. Yeah, she achieved success with that.
She had created these long lines of, like, maybe hemp or some kind of fabric and sewn flowers on. So her fringe was actually flower child, flower power kind of thing. It's very nice.
Very nice. Good.
Next up was
Miss Vanjie.
Damn Vanjie voice.
And Vanjie came out and she gave us Cher as well.
Yeah, right? It was like 2 Cher in a row. Red sparkly Cher.
She gave us Bob Mackie in the Cher Variety Hour Cher.
Okay, all right. There you go.
But the only thing, it was a nice look. I thought it was safe, and no one on that team got critiqued. So I think the critique for her was, it's nice. And we've seen red the whole season.
Yes.
So she walked in the workroom with red. Her first challenge was red. Her Zodiac from last week was red.
Yes.
She's clocked herself on Instagram about her red. So
I don't like team challenges where teams win and then they're not up for elimination, or they're like, get this get out of jail free card, because I feel like there are people then that skate by and make it further in the competition than people of less talent preparedness.
I wonder who's that gonna be. Well, maybe we'll find out in a second.
Next up was the look. Oh my god, Evie Oddly, my favorite, coming out with her pussy pink, penis painted jellyfish.
My pussy pink.
Right.
Her jelly, this jellyfish
was crazy. The face was perfect. Wow.
So this was a weird, so as someone who just knows the show so encyclopedically as I do, This was, I love this because she gave us jellyfish. There's only been one other person that tried to give us jellyfish, and that was Detox in season 5.
Oh, I was gonna say something else.
Their runway theme was fish, and Detox said, well, when I think of a fish, I think of a killer jellyfish.
Oh,
and she just wore this La Croix poof outfit, and it had the shape of a jellyfish, but nothing else. This was a full jelly, like
with movement and
I thought it was a Portuguese man of war. Ooh, go look that up. Portuguese man of war.
I might have to go look that up.
But I thought this was so effective in the way she executed this.
Yeah.
This was absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, it was huge toot. Next up was Mercedes.
Mercedes Iman Diamond.
Mercedes sort of had this black light green / maroon wig on. I wasn't quite sure what it looked like. It would be like a rave party look.
Yeah.
But she had this sort of lampshade accessories with it.
It's like one of those Chinese rice worker hats. I don't know what they're called.
Not good. It was not a good look. I thought that was the weakest look on the runway by far. Not even a close second.
It was. I mean, it's a great dance. I will say this. A lot of these girls, again, come from the clubs and come from these pads. It's a great dance because that thing is going to be shaking. Yeah. And if you're in a dark club, that neon's going to be seen from everywhere. Yeah. But when you're just on the main stage...
Yeah, that was not a main stage look. And this is one of the ones that was... Thank God you was safe in that group challenge and your group carried you.
Because Vanjie says...
We pulled through because even Beyonce and Kelly got to pull Michelle. So we did that. Now we probably can't air that. But if I got to rephrase it, I will.
And that was true. They drug her along. She was not prepared. She was not funny. She was the weakest link all around this week, but she was safe because she was with strong people. So.
I don't know if I would say the weakest all around.
Oh, yeah. She was in the challenge and the look.
Of her team, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, actually, if you take the look into account, yes.
Yeah.
Then, yeah, sorry, Mercedes. But up she safe this week.
Oh, everything.
Shout out to you, girl. That opulence is taken out. I love it. I can't stop saying opulence.
Opulence. You earn everything.
All right. Next down the runway was Miss Ariel.
Miss Ariel Versace. And her fringe... What do you feel about her fringe?
It wasn't really fringe. I mean, she was wearing this, like... You know, the CD, what do you call hologram reflective type of little...
Oh, yeah. The hologram material, but paillettes is the new... since Valentina showed up in All-Stars 4 with her paillettes. Paillettes is the new thing. Paillettes.
It looks great, actually. It's one of those things that if you have a spotlight, you don't want to wear it because you're going to blind your entire audience, but...
Or do you?
Or maybe you do.
They can't see your mistakes if you're blind.
There you go. That makes sense. That's why Valentina would wear it. Okay. I always thought fringe was this crap, you know, but whatever.
I think it's anything that hangs.
Okay.
Anything, or shout out to season 15 Project Runway winner Sean Kelly. He won a whole season on fringe. Every look had fringe. Yeah. I forgot about him.
I did. Fringe must be coming back in. Okay.
Fringe.
So Ariel, her look was great.
It was very her.
Fringe, but it was her.
It was her, sparkly. Yep.
Last down the runway
was my girl, Miss Silky Nutmeg.
Oh my God, this bitch.
Miss Silky gave you the only Cookie Monster.
Miss Silky.
Let me take a drink.
Onesie.
Don't do that.
It was a fringed onesie.
It was not a onesie.
Bright blue, a la Cookie Monster.
It was not a onesie. It cut off at the knee. It was a dress.
I mean, the only thing I could think coming down the runway was me want cookie.
Munch, munch, crunch, crunch. But Silky looked good. I thought her hair was right. I thought this fit her really well. It had a lot of movement to it because she was shimmying. She was giving you all the Tina Turner she could.
Yeah.
Silky too.
Silky, all right, you got it.
So Nina's team clearly the winner, and for her efforts as the team leader and the great Tammy Faye, Nina West is the winner of the challenge. Woo! I mean, after this hoe put her in the bottom not once but twice, I'm so glad that his Ohio girl has finally won her challenge and is in the race.
Yes. Oh, I knew she was going to turn it out, but, you know, I still stand behind she didn't turn it out the first 2 episodes like I know she can.
But in the bottom? Was she in the bottom? Not turning it out? See, you can't even trust the hoes from your hometown, so let that be a lesson.
Moving right along.
So Nina wins, and all the team is safe. Then they get to the Mariah team, and they're asking the girls, well, who's responsible for this? This was a mess.
This was a mess.
This was a bloody mess.
And they all owned it. I'll give them that. Cheers to that. That's teamwork there.
Plastique says she didn't know pop culture. I don't think anyone else made any other excuse. That was the only sort of excuse, but even that, Plastique said I didn't have the knowledge, so I own my mistakes. But everyone else, like, we worked together as a team and we did it. This was very interesting because this is only the second time, I think. Like, there's been a couple of times where you feel like the whole team bombed, but I can only think of one other time where it felt like the whole team should be up. And that was season 7 in the Shakespeare Challenge, where my girl, Miss Jasmine Masses.
Watch out, sisters. I'm the real prima donna.
Head cheerleader.
Hair cheerleader. Oh, fuck. Hair cheerleader is going to be me. Hair cheerleader is going to be me. LaQuisha Kiani. Watch out, sisters. Watch out, sisters. I'm the queen. I'm the real prima donna. Hair cheerleader is going to be me. LaQuisha Kiani. Oh, fuck.
She just couldn't get them lines. And Pearl was bad and Violet was bad. The only reason why they all weren't in trouble is because Katya and Miss Ho and that Candy Ho in that episode, they did well on their team. So it wasn't enough to punish the whole team.
So you're saying this one was the worst of all of them?
This one, no. I don't think this was worse than that Shakespeare Challenge, but I think what happened was, okay, so we'll say it.
Y'all need to step your pussy up. For the first time in Drag Race history, all of you will be lip-syncing for your lives. Oh my God.
That's the first time that's happened.
That is the first time that's happening. Because that episode, the Shakespeare episode I was talking about, it could have happened, but there were 2 girls on the team that actually did enough to warrant that. This time, all the girls stuck together and said, we did this as a team. And so Mama Ru said, well, then the whole team can go the hell home.
The whole team is going to lip sync for their life.
And I think it was worse because Ru even said, I talked to y'all and y'all didn't know shit. And I kind of suggested either change it, but what y'all did instead was just took all my tips and you stretched them the hell out.
Right.
So all 6 of the girls are up for, what'd you think about this 6-way lip sync?
It was a boring song, and it was one of those classic drag songs.
Waiting for Tonight by J-Lo.
But it was kind of boring in the sense of letting them show off what they could do. I didn't think anybody was terrible, but I didn't think anybody was great either. It was sort of like, we didn't see it.
Yeah, how could you? They had, you know how on the runway sometimes they do that split screen where they're showing one angle and the same angle at the same time?
Yeah.
They had to use a lot of that in order to get all the girls in.
You were seeing 2 or 3 dancers at one time on a split screen. And Honey Davenport falls off the stage into the front little...
I thought she jumped.
No, I think she fell. Oh. And then she got back up and was like, well, I'm going to try to just dance down here and be extra and be separate from the other girls. And that didn't work. She looked like she might have hurt herself. I don't know, because she was not moving very gracefully.
I thought it was a strategy, because if I were in that situation, which I wouldn't be, because I wouldn't be in the bottom.
Ooh.
But no bottom here. If I were in that situation, I would want to do anything I could to separate myself away from the girls because the stage is only so big.
Yes.
Like, you gotta get the eyes on you, and I thought that was what she was trying to do.
Yeah, no, and then if you're gonna be down there and get the eyes on you and not deliver, then it's like bad publicity is bad publicity.
That's true.
So anyway, I ended up choosing to go home for the week. Someone that wasn't even on the losing team. I thought Rue was gonna pull a Chef Ramsay and be like, "All right, you come down here. You're in the bottom too." So I was gonna send Mercedes home. I'm like, girl, if you were that bad, I just chose you. I didn't choose anybody on the losing team.
Rue's never done that, but Chef Ramsay's done that a couple of times.
I thought today was the day.
You're still going home.
Yeah, so I thought today was the day, but whatever.
So Rue starts sending the girls back. Plastique, you're safe. Raja, you're safe.
And Sugar was the last one.
So we get down.
Sugar was looking pretty stressed.
Yeah, but the weird thing is, Sugar was the best on the team.
Yeah.
They even said, out of everyone on that team, if we had to pick someone who was the best, Sugar was the best on that team. And her runway was everything.
Yes.
So at that moment when I saw Sugar and Honey, I knew it was Honey. Honey, it's not your time.
Not your time.
But that's all right. I also thought that Honey Davenport being Monet's drag mother, being in the New York scene, being with Bob, and all of this, I thought this was kind of, let's cut her early to give her a spot in All Stars 5.
Yep.
So, Honey, we'll see you. Don't be sad. We're going to see you, girl.
Yep.
Yeah, so.
Honey, you're doing great things. You look great. Don't be discouraged.
Fly like the bee that you are. So overall, good episode.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine.
I love a good televangelist.
Yeah, that was. I think if they're gonna do acting challenges, I like things like this. Let them be creative and let them pick who. If they're gonna fail, pick who they're gonna fail at. Don't give them a piss poor script and wonder why they didn't make it work. This was on the girls and they owned it.
They owned it. And until next time. Cheers.
So we gonna own these drinks.
We're gonna own these drinks.
Not for long.
Boo.
Bye.
I say glory, glory, hallelujah. Since I laid my
Latrice, can you take us to church?
Whoa, Jesus is a biscuit. Ah, Jesus is a biscuit.